Have you ever realized, I'm sure you have realized, that traditional dating or breakup advice doesn't work for narcissistic relationships? It's funny that, isn't it? Really funny. Actually, it's not funny. And you find that when you are trying to explain yourself and this situation, it triggers you. And when no one understands, you feel so alone. In this video, I'm going to talk about why traditional relationship advice doesn't work on narcissistic relationships. Watch this video. Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. I was called to do this video or make this video because so many of my clients I've been finding over the last couple of weeks have been realizing or have been saying to me, Anushka, like, I've been trying to do, listen to the normal kind of traditional dating advice or breakup advice on how I can get past this, and nothing is working. There's a reason, my friends, and I'm going to talk about this in the video. Because traditional dating advice is not going to work on a narcissistic relationship. There are completely different dynamics that are at play here. And I do feel for you guys. I do feel for you, for those of you who have understood that it's a narcissistic relationship. You've gone into therapy or counseling and they just give you this strange advice. And advice that can actually be damaging if the therapist or the counselor doesn't understand what the dynamics of narcissistic abuse, how it makes you feel, what goes on. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why traditional therapeutic methods or non-understanding of the narcissistic relationship dynamics can actually be very triggering and very damaging. But my friends, before I do, I just want to make the announcement that I do go live every week on this channel. And if you would like to join the live, please see the description box below. If you have a question or there's something on your mind and you want a quick answer, I would say join the live. Also, you've got to check out the live chat that goes on with this wonderful, amazing, supportive community. Love you guys. Because there's so many people on there that are just so kind, so amazing, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you guys. I really, really am. So again, check out the description box if you want more information. Okay. So why doesn't traditional dating advice or breakup advice work in narcissistic dynamics? The reason why is because these relationships are not ones, things, scenarios if you don't understand them or if you haven't actually experienced them. It's one thing knowing the theory, but it's another actually having the lived experience. Combined together, that makes you a very powerful counselor or therapist, having lived experience and also the theory behind it. So the reason for this is because with narcissistic relationships, they don't follow a pattern that actually, if you haven't been in this dynamic, people would understand. Because to the professional who is kind of giving you this advice, if you haven't been through it, you're not going to be able to identify the different dynamics of what actually happens within this relationship and how the person, your client, is reacting to that. Your client or the person that actually goes through this is traumatized. And so they're speaking from a traumatized space, wanting to get understanding, wanting to get more knowledge on what is going on. And so when you're the client, when you're the person that is trying to explain to your counselor or your therapist or another mental health professional of what actually is happening, if they are not attuned, if they don't know this information, then they are going to give you the wrong advice because they're not going to spot the different things that actually happen within these dynamics. This is the issue. This is why you get re-triggered, because it's almost as though you have to justify yourself. You have to explain everything that has happened, and then you have to kind of educate the professional on it. If you're explaining this to family members or friends, they're going to give you conflicting advice. Something like, oh, just get with another person and you'll be able to move on. Except that doesn't work, especially if you're trapped in a trauma bond and constantly thinking about that person, trying to make sense of your experience. And it's not because they're being horrible, it's not because they want to hurt you, it's just that they actually do want to help you, but when they don't understand those dynamics and what is going on for you and why this has happened, this can offer conflicting advice, and advice that is not really going to be helpful for you to move on. Now, try and explain a trauma bond to somebody who hasn't been through it. They're going to say to you that perhaps maybe this is to do with attachment issues. Maybe this is to do with the way that you have perceived the, experience. Maybe it's something that you're not getting. And all you really need to do is be able to move on, get with another person. It's going to take time, but you'll be fine. But a trauma bond doesn't work like that, because what this has happened is this has traumatized you to the core. Your identity has been taken and you don't really understand why, because actually you've probably never been in an experience like this. And so when you're trying to find meaning and understanding, this is where it can get very conflicting. This is where it can get very confusing, because you know how you feel, you know what is going on for you. And when someone is telling you, no, it's this, trying to explain this in the traditional terms of like a breakup, it's not going to work. Remember, you've not had any closure. You've had no understanding. You've not had an ending. It's kind of like things have been left unsaid. Things have been left open to interpretation. And that's where the issue is because things are left to interpretation. There's no ending. And so when you're trying to find an ending, a meaning to all of this, when you're looking up, traditional advice, it's not going to fit. And there is a reason. There is a reason why people who talk about narcissistic abuse, you find blogs, YouTube videos, other social media accounts, people who do talk about this type of abuse. This is why this information resonates. This is why it makes sense and you have understanding. And a lot of people doubt whether whether this person was actually narcissistic or whether they are making it up in their head. What I would say to you guys is, you haven't made this up in your head. This is exactly the truth. Because this information is going to resonate only if you have been through something like this. Only if you have experienced this dynamic. It's not going to make sense for someone else who has just been in a really difficult relationship. Because you know why? Because when you're in a traditional relationship or a healthy relationship, both parties know where they stand. Because there is an ending. You talk about why this relationship hasn't worked. You talk about things like how you are feeling, what's going on for you. But in this dynamic, in this scenario, there's nothing. The narcissist just ups and leaves. They have completely destroyed your character, completely destroyed your understanding of the world through their gaslighting, through their lies. And you're caught. My friends, you are caught in this swirl of information that actually none of it makes sense. You're doubting yourself. You're doubting, are you thinking this? Is it right? And none of it is making sense because you've lost trust within yourself. The narcissist does this because of the way that they gaslight you, because of the way that they tell you things that are not true. But inside you're feeling, this is true, this is what's happened. And also the fact that you never think that the narcissist is going to lie to you, that the narcissist would be so capable of doing that. You don't even know that they are a narcissist. The other trigger is finding out that this person is narcissistic and knowing that you have been abused, that this is a condition, this is a disorder, that this is a thing that happens, this is a phenomenon. So when this is happening for you, you're like, is this really true? Can this person be a narcissist? All of these things trigger. And then so you doubt yourself because you've been led to believe that everything that you think about, everything that you do is wrong, everything is your fault, the way that you understand the world is completely wrong. And that's why when you're seeking advice, when you're trying to get through this relationship, through this ordeal, nothing makes sense. And it's at these times, that you really need to connect back to your heart space, connect back to you, because you know what? You possess that wisdom already within you. The reason why this information has resonated for you is a reason, is a thing, guys. And I really urge you to listen to that, because when you have understanding, when you have the information in front of you, this will help you to understand that actually what you have been in is this situation, is this scenario, is this experience. And I urge you to trust that, because you are right. This has resonated with you for a reason. And so you need to go forward and make that meaning, make that understanding, and go forward. And it's also very confusing, because the narcissist may reach out to you. The narcissist may try and make contact with you. And you're thinking, okay, you've left. Why are you contacting me? There's so many moving elements, moving parts to this dynamic, that when you're talking to someone else about it and they haven't been through it, it makes it really awful, because they give you the wrong advice, the wrong understanding. And I think for a lot of you, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like, okay, yeah, like I can understand that, because you're thinking, but that's not what I feel in my heart. And so you then doubt that. You're not wrong. You've been called to this information for a reason. For a reason, you have been called to this information. And that is a thing in itself. So I really hope that this video helps. I really hope that it gives you like this this understanding that actually you need someone who understands this, someone who is well versed in this, who understands narcissistic abuse, because it will cause you to question, it will cause you to doubt yourself, and that causes more trauma in itself. So if you are someone who is going through this, please know that I do offer one-to-one consultations. And if you would like that, then please see the description box for more details. I also offer a journal club and a mentorship. And if you're interested, please see the description box below. I've also got a Discord server, which is absolutely free for you to join. It is a community of like-minded individuals, who have shared the experiences that you have. And this is a safe and contained space for you to be able to talk with these people, or to be able to share your experiences with the community. If you are interested in joining, please see the description box below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And I really hope that this video does help you to make sense of this experience. Bye-bye.